everyone, and welcome to another exciting game as part of BIPOC VampDay. Folks, my name is Renowned, and I am so excited to bring you one of my favorite vampire-based games, Eat the Reich. We have an amazing cast of folks here, and I am so excited to be sharing this awesome story. So let's go and let's do, for the folks who don't know, let's do a little bit of, some introductions, a little bit about each of us, and then we'll get into our super awesome story. Let's go ahead and start with Nyxx. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nyxx. Nyxx the Werewolf is where you can find me on LinkedIn. Not LinkedIn, Linktree. I'll be playing Happy Lee Freeman, a gun-toting Nazi hunter.
Excellent. So exciting. Thank you so much. Next, let's go with Sid.
Hi, I'm Sid. I go by she, her pronouns. I will be playing Calamity, aka Batgirl, in all the best ways possible, using also she, her pronouns.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Kawiria, why don't you go next?
Hello, I'm Kawiria, also known as Opalescent on YouTube. I will be playing Nicole Bloodscythe, who is a butch weapons expert. I love explosions, and that's what I'm here for mainly.
Honestly, I still can't get over how fucking cool that last name is. So while I geek out over that a little bit, Arslan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Good evening. My name's Arslan. I go with any pronouns but using.
It seems like we're having some technical issues, folks. If you'll please give us just a moment. While we work on that tech issue, just a reminder of what we're here for is we're here to raise money for an amazing charity. You can actually just follow the pinned Tiltify link. We are raising money for the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America, and we are $70 shy of the goal of $1,000. And my goal is to do everything big. So let's try and not only hit that, but smash that goal. And of course, you can look through our donation rewards to see what is available to you. For $10, you can give advantage to players. We actually already had 3 donations right before stream. So the players have a pool of 3 advantages. What you may not know is in Eat the Reich, it's a die pool game. So any die they would just discard, they're instead going to get to re-roll when they use that. And they don't have to, they can actually see what the die rolls are and then decide to use one because I'm nice like that. However, someone did also give me $20 to auto-fail them. And you also have the option to give them a magical item or a weapon. And I promise I will make sure that your money is very well spent there. We are still working through these technical issues, so we're not quite going to get started. Yeah, you know what? I am going to do this. So I did want to start this game because I feel like it's very important when we're doing media that involves Nazis to just set the mood a little bit. When I say that we are playing a game where that the goal is to kill and eat zombies, Nazis, is because they are terrible. And that's what they deserve. And that is how we're going to treat them. At no time will we be lifting Nazis up or ingratiating them or making them seem like anything but what they are. In this game, fodder to be destroyed and all of their blood drained. How are we doing on the technical issues so far?
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes! Arslan, can you introduce yourself?
Cool. Good evening, everybody. My name is Arslan. I use any pronouns, but I go by they, them for ease of use. I'm known as Law of Tsunami or Tsunami Matsuka in the VTuber sphere. I'm going to be playing Dr. Tobin Rose, you could say a face of the party with a couple dark secrets. And Tobin's pronouns are going to be he, him.
Honestly, what goes better than vampires and dark secrets? It's like peanut butter and jelly as far as I'm concerned. All right. And I suppose with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. And this story starts like all great stories do, with a bang. players, you find yourself on a transport flight higher in the air than you think almost any human being may have been. And as you look down, you can see the shapes of the earth. You can see the shapes of continents and countries as you near Gazala, your first target. You're in a large hangar bay, and at the very far end, there are these giant, massive coffins made of pure steel. In it, they have just wires plugged into them. You can see that they're pumping blood into the coffins, beginning to fill them. As you folks wait for your orders to drop, tell me, how are you feeling right now in this minutes away from the beginning of this mission?
Well, Happy is kind of sitting in the furthest corner back as possible. Big old cowboy hat covering their face. They're used to high pressure situations. Before even being a vampire, they were a steer wrangler. They were bulldogging. They were rodeoing. So anything that's high pressure is a place they feel welcome at.
Excellent. And as you're like,
Nicole
so what
is?
No, please go ahead.
Sounds good. I understand there's a bit of a delay on my end, but Nicole is pacing back and forth. She can't sit still. I would say she's feeling impatient. She feels she has something to prove on this mission.
There is a bit of a repetitive mechanical sound as Third is consistently practicing loading, unloading, and reloading what looks like a sawn-off shotgun. Looks to be a little bit older than the person itself, weirdly enough. But it doesn't look like it's handled by someone that would be normally seen wielding a sawn-off shotgun. In fact, he looks a little too well-dressed. Or at least like he got his uniform straight off the rack and not like broken it in or anything like that. And it's a little odd in terms of how well kept he looks, especially given that they're all on a plane to the middle of North Africa. But he certainly looks dedicated in practicing what he's working on.
And what is Calamity up to right now?
Yeah. Right now, Calamity is just a super energetic bundle of nerves. This is the highest she's ever been up in the sky outside of her own flights, and she is just filled with anticipation. She is eager for the upcoming hunt.
As you folks are trying to like work out these emotions that you're feeling, you hear a large metal door slide into place, and stepping out is a woman in a flight suit. Hair is pulled back with flight goggles over the top. She's wearing like a vest with a little bit of fur. It is rather cold up here for those who have a pulse. And she kind of hangs in the doorway. It's like, all right, does anyone have any questions before you drop? She screams over the wailing of metal and the sound of wind whipping down the sides of the plane.
No questions from me, but I can't speak for the others, honestly. It wouldn't be the first time.
Nicole looks like just extremely irritated, as she had a lit cigarette in her hand this whole time, and it's now been blown out.
At the mostly overwhelming silence, she says, all right, remember, step 1, you got to disable the weapons in the military compound. You need to gain control of the communications array and then secure the train yard. Then you're going to meet with the ground commander for stage 2.
Do we have a name for this ground commander? Definition, anything like that?
It's whoever survives its highest rank.
Oy.
Good to know.
I'm sure they'll figure it out. They're expecting some pretty high casualties, but the mission's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon it could be.
Did not mean to talk over you. Please go ahead.
I reckon it should be worth it.
Are we expected to have an exfiltration, or are we going to be considered casualties? Dang it. Can you hear me now?
It sounds like we might be having some technical issues again. Just one moment, folks. Arslan, can I get an audio check? I think Arslan's back. Audio check, Arslan?
I'm back.
Yes. Excellent.
What I was trying to ask was, are we expected to have an exfiltration, or and he shrugs to the captain?
No, it's an all or nothing. We're going to be taking out that bastard Rommel, and we're going to take control of the Cauldron.
All right. Sounds like y'all didn't have that much of a plan then.
You are the plan. If we don't win this, we can't get Hitler. It's the only shot we got.
Tobin looks at the other three, just goes with the get a load of this kind of look, but doesn't really respond to that other than like double checking and making sure everything's ready to go for the flight.
As you start to double check, you see the red light at the far end of the bay flick on and begin to slowly rotate. Sign to get into the drop coffins.
Wait, those are for us?
It's not for me! She slowly shuts the door.
Wouldn't be for anyone else. And then Happy's gonna flick Betsy, flick Maria, holster them, and lay down.
As you the drop coffins, they open up, the two front metal panels open wide, and as you come in, you can see that there is like tanks of blood on all sides. What you know from your training at this point is that these pods are specifically designed to drop vampires, because if anything alive was put in them, they would die immediately on impact. The blood should be enough to get you down there, but you're going to have to begin feeding pretty quickly to stay up. As you folks load in and they shut, feel the entire plane shudder as the back end of the plane opens. And now you can hear things a little bit more clearly for what's going on, because it's hard when you're inside with all the sound of the engines kind of ricocheting off everything. You can hear the sounds of distant cannon fire. You can hear the battle that's going on below you. And then you feel as something pulls at the bottom of the caskets, and you all fall. And you are in open air for far, far, far too long. And as the coffins topple a little bit, you can see the ground is quickly approaching. And you can see ships are coming in from the ocean. They appear to be firing towards what is a front end, almost like a small military base with large cannons that are firing at them. You're seeing they're starting to deploy troops, and it's really pulling all of their attention to the water just in time. As you hit the ground, there's a huge crash, and the coffin split open, and you find yourself standing among the wreckage of them. The Nazis that were standing in this place are now merely red smears across the ground. And the few people that were in this area look up and immediately run. Two of them seem to head out towards the water where you see the large guns firing. Another runs the opposite direction, which seems to be towards like a large communications array. Off in the other direction, you see a series of barracks, and on the far side, what looks like the train yard, which is your ultimate goal. Well, all three are your ultimate goal. And you folks are posed with one clear choice. Where do you go first?
Calamity is shaking her wings from the landing and kind of like whirling her head around, locking eyes with the tower, and just points at it while looking at the other three, and just kind of turns and goes, "Hunting time?"
Get him, girl.
And with that, Calamity just kind of starts like mad dashing over towards the communications tower.
It is. So I want you to describe like what Calamity fully looks like as you're like, because you are chasing a Nazi that is desperately trying to get through a door and shut it behind him to stop you. So what does it look like as you just charge towards that door?
Yeah, what they would see is just this mass of almost like seaweed-like hair just kind of wildly tumbling about, and these kind of like these eyes that kind of look more like snake eyes than they do like human eyes with the slitted pupils. They're these like bared fangs, nostrils are a little bit too wide, and fingers that kind of have like extended into kind of almost wing-like structures. And this thing is just tumbling on all fours, kind of running like a more like animalistic way, and is just kind of making a direct beeline to where that door is.
Is everyone kind of like following Calamity on their path of destruction?
Absolutely. Happy's used to this, so they're kind of saddling up, kind of watching Calamity 6.
Excellent. So, so as you get to the door, why don't we go ahead and let's do some of our first dice roll. Let's go with so the way that dice rolls happen in this, it's not like your normal D&D where it's like I give you a challenge and you do the thing. So you're going to you folks have an objective. In this area, you have to get to and then disable gain control of the communications array. So like you're going to be busting your way in and immediately facing danger. And so what you do is you're going to basically like tell me like how you want it, what you're going to do and how you're going to do this thing. And then we'll give you a die pool, and then we see what successes you get, and we go from there. So who wants to go first?
I think Calamity's closest, so or Calamity should
After
go
you,
first.
little lady.
I guess Calamity will go first. I think what she's ultimately trying to achieve is that she wants to give us such an otherworldly, terrifying kind of like aura that it frightens these Nazis into like not even thinking about like actually closing the door, but just straight up like running for their life, just absolutely terrified.
Love that. So for that sounds like so you basically you're picking your die pool, And so you're going to determine what stat you're going to use to achieve it. So how do you want to go about that? Would that be like a terrify? Do you want to use like a brawl to like be like very physically imposing? How are you going about it?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I'd probably want to terrify, just really lean into the whole like horror movie aspect of it.
Hell yes. Okay. So now, do you have any equipment or abilities you want to use with this?
That is a really good question. I don't know if I have any abilities that I'd want to use with it just because I'm not in melee and I'm not throwing anything. So hold off on that for now.
Okay. Any equipment?
I'm wondering if I can use my steel gouging claws to kind of just really emphasize how otherworldly of a threat Calamity is.
I mean, yeah, you could also like rend those claws into the door to like really punctuate that sentence. You can absolutely use them for sure.
Nice, nice.
So your claws give you. It should give you a number of pluses when you're using them. So I think it's. So yeah, it's +1 for using your equipment. So this will be one use of your claws. So then roll your terrify plus an additional d6 for that. And that will be your pool.
Cool. Where would I roll this? Sorry.
Do you have d6s? Do you have die?
I do. I can roll d6s. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to see it. It's a trust circle of trust, folks.
Cool. All right, 46. I got a 4, a 2, a 6, and a 4.
Okay, so a 4, a 2, a 6. Okay, so anything that is a 3 or below, you scrap.
Okay.
Your 6s are critical successes. Your 4s and 5s are normal successes. So now you can describe like how you do like describe like how it looks like when you go through and keep in mind you got a couple of criticals in there, so like make it big.
Yeah. I think what probably happens is that like Calamity is still like on all fours, but when they see the doors kind of like on the precipice of closing, they kind of just like jump and just like hold it open like with her claws, and she's like, surprise! And she's just kind of like ripping this door from like its hinges and just kind of like scuttling her way in the dark. All you really see are just kind of like the backlit reflections of her slitted irises and her fangs glinting against the light as she's just kind of like worming through this doorway and like into the actual center.
As you come through the door, you notice that there are like there's like a patrol of Nazis in here, and they were ready to open fire on this doorway, but they see that and they immediately leave.
Nice.
They are screaming, they're wetting themselves, they are terrified of you. And as you come in, like there's the door that they went through, and then there's 2 side doors. So Calamity's opened the door. Who wants to step through the metaphorical and physical door that has been opened here?
I'll wander on in. So there were people running away from the door?
So there were a patrol of Nazis have basically like scattered down through a door at the end of this hall. It seems like there's a heavy set of double doors. It seems like there's probably some communications equipment that way. Then there's 2 side doors here as well, like halfway down the hall.
Were there any like stragglers sort of running still, like visibly still kind of heading towards those double doors?
If you're rolling up like right behind Calamity, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, whoever's in Happy's field of vision is about to get shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So same things apply. So you're gonna roll shoot because you're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You're using, if you want to use like actual use of equipment, then you would mark off one of your uses.
Mm-hmm. Happy pulls out Betsy and Maria, gives them a little kiss, and says goodnight.
Yeah, and don't forget, you get an additional +1 because you're using them as dual pistols,
Okay.
because that is their special.
Ooh, 2 5s, 2 4s.
Nice. So that is 4 successes. So as they go, because they're trying really hard to file in, and so like as the doors get flung open and you fire, you clip like 2 or 3 of them, and they just go down like puppets with their strings cut. They're just immediately, like one sprawls out against the door and falls. One of them falls completely into the room. The third gets caught between the doors.
Well, sounds like we have a little snack waiting for us at the end of this.
All right. So, Arslan, can I was having a little trouble hearing. Can you do a soundtrack for me? I see you moving, but I cannot hear you. Okay, we will hop over to let's keep. Oh, Arslan's back.
And can you hear me now?
Yes.
Cool. Sorry about that.
The,
It turns out Firefox is very, very temperamental.
so that leaves Nicole. And 1 second here. I'm not going to mess this up. I wrote notes. I took notes. Where are my notes when I need them? And Dr. Tobin. So you folks are the Calamity throws the door open. There's gunshots. A couple of the Nazis are down. As you folks are making your way into the communications array.
Mm-hmm. Kawiria, do you want to go first?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay. So Nicole is beelining it for the communications room. She is lugging along her weapons, which include an M3 submachine gun strapped around her torso, smoke grenades, and dynamite strapped around her hips and legs. But before destruction, she would like to send a message to the other party members. She basically just yells back, "I'm just gonna say hi," and turns on the comms that connect to the entire building and says, "You're all gonna die," and starts maniacally laughing before destroying the communication devices so that they can't reach out for help.
Excellent. Okay, so let's roll on that. So, give me 1 second. I apologize. I need 1 second. My wife is not feeling well. Just if we can take a short break. I apologize, folks. I will
No,
be
not
right
at all.
back.
No worries.
thank you folks so much. My wife is recovering from a COVID booster, and I wanted to go and check in on her. She's getting some sleep now and should be all set. My COVID booster will likely be kicking in at the very end of stream, so I too will be feeling her pain very soon. Nicole, we were going through so you have a big move planned, so let's get some dice rolling. So
Yeah.
you head into the room, and like there are Nazis that are still in this room. So are you like opening fire on them as you come in, like? Or are you just like running right past them and going, because you can do that. You can just blow right past them and get on the comms. Just take
I'd
the
actually
mic
like
and
to
just
blow past them.
Oh yeah. So so it seems like this would be like a terrifying move, because you're going in to like terrify them on the mic, you're blowing past them like it's nothing. So go ahead and roll terrify.
Yes.
And are you gonna use like any of your equipment, like a smoke grenade or anything, or are you just bowling right in?
I'm going to use a smoke grenade.
Cool. Yeah. So that would be so Mark. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Oh, I was going to ask how many D6s.
So you so that would be your terrify, which I think is 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had 2 from your smoke grenades.
Three, 4, 6, 2, 3.
Okay, so anything that is 3 or lower, we discard. So 4s are successes and 6s are critical successes, so it counts as 2. So how many successes do you have total?
3 successes.
Excellent. So you absolutely do that. You hop on the mic. The Nazis in here are now like you see that they are like collecting themselves. You see a couple of the Nazis come out some of the back halls, and they turn like they are going to start to open fire on you. That brings us to the good doctor.
I'm gonna make like it's blood and just actually do the actually pull the guns at this point. Since I'm happy to do cleanup after everyone else has done shock and awe. The main premise for this is that since the door's been busted and since the smoke has been in there, so close quarters as much as possible, and not try to be like as flashy as the other 3 are, but close in, appear, going sup, and blow them away before closing back out.
Love that. Love that. Okay.
Respect.
So you're doing shoot and using your sawed off.
Mm-hmm.
So you mark off the use of the sawed off. You add 2 dice because you're using the shotgun at point blank range.
Mm-hmm.
And you roll them bones.
4d6 rolling. How much blood do we start with, by the way?
None. You got to drink it.
Gotcha. Can I leave one alive?
So here's the thing. You can actually use dice as you're fighting them to use that to draw blood. That is one. If you look on the what you can do sheet, you can spend successes to further the objective, which is, controlling the control array, attacking a threat, defending against an attack, or drinking Nazi blood. All things you can do with successes.
Okay, so let me roll this first and then see how many successes, and then we work off of that.
Yes.
Gotcha. Rolling 46 then. I immediately lose 2 dice. Okay, that was tilt, so I'm just going to roll 2 more. So I got 1 success so far.
Nicole had 4 successes, correct?
3.
So we're going to count those all towards furthering the objective of controlling the control array.
I rolled 1 critical and 2 normal successes, so that's a 4. 4
Nice.
successes. So I'm gonna blow 3 of the 3 Nazis away and leave the 4th one close in and basically drain him till it looks like a dry alien, then cast him aside.
Excellent. They scream. Well, the ones that see you coming scream. The ones that do not are reduced to a fine red mist. As for drinking blood, let me see. I'm trying to see how much blood you resupply. Per die. Is it really 1? I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, so you I guess it's 1 blood per success. So you gain 1 blood. You continue to fight through the zombies or Nazis. I'm gonna keep doing that. I don't know why. Excellent. As you folks are like you folks are basically all like completely in this room now, and now the Nazis seem to be like funneling up the hallway, trying to basically box you in. Let's go back to Calamity.
Alrighty, so the Nazis are trying to box us in, and Calamity's going to do everything that she can to make sure that doesn't happen. If at all possible, Calamity would love to just kind of like scuttle around, climb on like the ceiling, try to see if there's any like straggling Nazis, and quite literally just get the jump on them, jump on their actual bodies, and hopefully get some blood for her very hungry stomach.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and roll.
So I'm trying to decide if this is like a sneak or a brawl, because she is ultimately sneaking around, but she's also hoping to kind of like throw hands or wings, if you will.
I mean, it could be either way. I think whatever you think best fits kind of Calamity's, like, because I think what Calamity's mood might be to sneak around. At the end of the day, Calamity's hungry.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do brawl then.
Sounds good.
Cool. So that is a 4d6. I'll go ahead and roll that. 6, 3, 3, 6.
So that's 2 criticals. So that's 4 successes. So you can, if you want, just soak all of those into drinking their blood.
I think in that case, Calamity will absolutely do that.
Yeah, so like you basically like you leap on one Nazi, and before they can scream, you're just draining the life immediately out of them, and a couple of them notice, and they quickly fall to the same fate. Next, let's go to Happy.
Yeah, Happy wants to get right up in the mix. Is going to put the revolvers away and just go straight up hand-to-hand combat. It is going to try to grab one of the Nazis to just rend them, just rip them apart and try to drink the blood.
Hell yes. Let's roll a brawl.
Brawl. Ooh, let me get a lucky die. I want this to work. Oh, stunning. 2 6s and a 4.
Excellent. So that is 5 successes.
Yeah. How many successes to take them down, and then the rest to drink, I guess.
So these Nazis are kind of in a really they're kind of in like a panicked state. They're waiting for reinforcements just came in, and then a bunch of them immediately died. So it's not going well for them right now. So they are mostly in a panic state. You feel like you're really close to gaining control of this part of the building. So like, just like with that many successes, you could use them all to just rip up a couple of Nazis and drink their blood.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to
Okay.
take as many down as I can.
So that is,
Hell yeah.
that's 1 blood per success. You feast.
Okay.
That's the way that these successes work. You decide where these successes are going, and that is what happens. All right. Next, Nicole Bloodscythe. So you're trying to like finish game. Like you have the mic. There's still some like comms that are coming through and going back and forth. So like you can either like work to completely shut them out, or you could just blow the whole thing up at this point to finish the objective.
I like blowing things up. I'm going to set up a stick of dynamite, just 2 or 3, like probably 2, just to make sure the job gets done before I leave the room.
Excellent. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, you would probably do like a fix. It's modifying a structure. Sure. And don't forget,
in my opinion, making it better.
Yeah, in this case, very specifically. So you are using dynamite, which is plus 4d6. So mark your 1 box for dynamite. So you're gonna roll 4d6 plus fix.
Five, 5, 2, 2, 2, 4.
Yeah, you set up the bomb, you set up the timer, and it's ready to go. And you folks, I assume you let everyone know that this place is about to go up.
Yeah, I yell, fireworks!
Does anyone have any things they want to do on the way out? Because they're not like... Because the Nazis are very much dead at this point.
I'm gonna take their guns.
Okay.
Ooh.
You're able to grab a couple of submachine guns.
I would also like one then.
I think.
Are we
probably
shopping?
gonna be. I was gonna be. If you're gonna ask me for shopping, definitely yes. And Tobin's gonna toss Happy 1, 2 on Tobin's shoulders, and the third one he considers it for a second, looks at Happy, and just hooks it at Happy.
They take both.
So these are submachine guns, 3 square, plus flanking.
Cool.
They're a less polished version of what Nicole's using.
MP40, if I remember correctly.
No submachine gun is as good as my Betty. I named her Betty.
You folks run out, and as you get out of the building, you hear like what sounds like an initial just pop, and then the entire building, just a column of fire straight up as the entire roof of the communications array explodes outward. The dish that is sitting on top collapses into the shape of the building. And you see there were a couple of Nazis that were actually on like the deck above, just under the dish, like with rifles aiming down. And this whole thing collapses on top of them and just sinks them into the burning scrap rubble of what is left of the building. There's still the large guns on the far side are still firing down towards the beach, and you see the train yard on the other side.
They're going to notice the explosion from the comms tower within enough time. If I could make a suggestion, go for the things that are exploding right now, and Tobin will point towards the AA cannons.
Is it still my turn?
Well, now it's like now we're kind of like in between, right? So we completed that objective, and now we're like you're trying to like identify what to do next.
In that case, are there any unsucked Nazis lying around still?
Not right here. It seems like most of them have left this like the area outside of the comms area. Anyone who was here died inside. But you can smell their blood on the wind in both directions.
Okay. I'm going to run towards the nearest group of Nazis that I can smell. Okay.
So that is in the direction of the large wet cannons array, and so you folks head in that direction. You see that these are like really large weapons platforms that seem to be somewhat mobile, but are like hunkered down. And there are Nazis like in it. There's multiple of them like operating each of these. And as you folks run up, there's a squad of them that is kind of like watching in this direction now because of the giant explosion coming from the comms array. So yeah, since you charged in, why don't you start us off? So I assume you're gonna want to. How do you want to get in there? What do you want to do?
All right. Let's see. I have this ability, but I can't use it until I get blood. So what I'm gonna do first is just start running up on all fours. Absolutely mad dogging it. Leap towards the closest Nazi and rip out his corduroy artery with my teeth.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll. That seems like a brawl to me.
Yes. Okay. I got the successful rolls. Everything else was a 2. Was 4 and 5.
Okay, so it's 2 successes. So, what you can do is at this point you can trigger a flashback, or you can just take those 2 successes.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, triggering a flashback, it's once per session. We go through a flashback scene, and then you gain 2 more dice to roll.
I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna take what I have.
Okay, so that's 2 blood. Okay, so yeah, Nicole just charged in and caught this squad, and is drinking some blood. Who is next hot on Nicole's heels here?
May I go next? Hold on. Testing audio. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Go for it.
Just wanted to make sure. So while Nicole is ripping and tearing, Toba's going to walk after Nicole. Just double checking the gun, clearing it, making sure that it works, because there might be blood and gore in it. We don't know. And we do not want misfires that could hurt us. As he's doing it, though, he's going to look towards the next group of Nazis that are trying to square up and just points his finger at them. And he'd like to cast Explosive Rune at the sandbags that are right there.
I mean, you can absolutely do that. So that is going to be... Where is... Sorry, I gotta find Explosive Rune.
I think we tracked it from the spellcaster lady.
I thought so. Okay. So, you can absolutely do that. So, I'm going to say that this could either be a Terrify or it's kind of a shoot.
I'm going to go with Terrify.
Okay.
Specifically
it's not,
trying to aim. Sorry, go on.
It's not really concealed, so we're not going to get those bonus dice for it.
Do they have any explodable material or material that if it explodes would hurt them, like wood splinters or ammunition behind those?
They're going to take damage for sure from it. They're just you're not going to get the bonus d6s from it being, because it has the quality concealed tag. So you're not going to get those 2 bonus d6s.
That's fair. Just want to double check.
Mm-hmm.
So 5d6 question mark? No, just 3d6, right?
Yeah, you always get a +1 for using your equipment.
Cool. So 4d6.
Yeah.
Checking now. 1 moment, please. 1 normal and 2 crits.
Damn, y'all are rolling like fucking gangbusters. So that's 5 successes. That squad is that the squad, like, they go to aim down towards you, and you folks get this smell of sulfur and this orange glow under them, and they explode. Yeah, no, that actually fully kills that entire patrol. They are dead. Damn. Okay.
Tobin flinches at seeing the entire thing get turned to a wrist, going, oh.
As you folks are like getting through and you're getting closer, you're beginning to see that these platform, like the weapons platforms, are being piloted by a person, and so it's all people, all squish in these large weapons arrays. Who wants to go next?
I can go next. I think Calamity, seeing all the explosions, feels very inspired right now. And if she could, she would love to find the nearest, largest, heavy object and just do like a little bit of like a discus throw and just launch it over towards the weapon platforms.
Okay, let's talk dice. Because if you get more than 5 successes, I'm going to give you a wider array of options of what Calamity can get to and see. So that's definitely going to be a brawl. And yeah. Did you end up taking improvised projectile?
I don't know that I did. I know I took bone armor for the advances. I don't know if I chose it as my.
Oh no, I think everyone just gets those abilities. Everyone gets. Oh yeah, I think you just have them. Or do you take 2? I'm trying to remember how that worked. Oh no, you just use that. You're just using the same sheet. You're just reskinning. So no, you have all of those abilities. You have access to all of them.
Nice.
So the way that would work is you would use 1 blood to activate improvised projectile. So that specifically allows you to chuck a large and heavy object a surprising distance, and it gives you a +1 additional for using the ability.
Cool. So I think that's 5d6. All right.
That's it.
Fingers crossed, wings crossed. Let's go.
I'm looking for 5.
Ooh, no pressure.
Well, I mean, you still get to do a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool thing you can do if you get above 5.
So I got a 5, a 1, a 2, a 2, a 2, but I do have bone armor, so before I discard my dice after I roll, I can reduce a GM's successful attack dice by 1 for each one I've rolled. I don't know if I'm being attacked, but
So you aren't being attacked. However, there are 3 donations that came in before stream to roll advantage that anyone can use, and that would allow you to re-roll all of those failures.
Ooh. It would be really fun to chuck a large object. I guess consulting with my fellow players, does anybody have any reservations about the use of that advantage?
None from me.
All you.
Cool. Alrighty, in that case, I will go ahead and use that, and 5d6, let's go. Alright, we believe in the dice. Okay, so I got a 1, a 4, a 6, a 2, a 2. We tried. Woo!
1, a 4, a 6, a 6, a 2. That's 5.
It was 1, 4, it was 1, 4, 6, and 2 2s.
Oh, okay. So you find like basically it's like a forklift, and you just huck that thing. And like there basically like there's a group of like, because Nazis are like actively loading these guns so that the person driving it can, and 2 of them that are loading one of the guns just looks up, and the last thing they ever see is the underside of a forklift as it hits them and then slides their bodies about 15 feet into a bloody smear across the ground.
Sorry.
No, please, what were you saying?
On seeing that, Calamity will just scream the words "victory screech," just screaming "victory screech," and they just do a little happy dance.
Excellent. Happy.
Yeah, I'm hearing that there's things to be like that are climbable. Is there like, I guess I'm just trying to get a vantage point to be able to sort of see the map as it is.
So there are areas where you can get like some higher vantage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can scurry up like some scaffolding up to like a watchtower for sure.
Mm-hmm. Although, is there anyone left on the ground?
So there are a bunch of people that are still at the surface-to-air weapons array.
Mm.
They're actively loading guns. They're actively shooting at your comrades coming up the beach.
Cool. Happy's gonna go up to to the group loading up one of the guns. And whoever has their hand on the trigger, I'm going to spend 1 blood to use Lashing Tongue, where I use my strong prehensile tongue, extending several yards out of my mouth, to just grab the guy who's doing the shooting.
Yeah, okay. So that would be brawl +1, because you're definitely restraining them with your tongue.
Brawl +1. A 6, a 6, a 4, and a 3.
Wow. Yeah.
Ooh.
No, they are not doing a fucking thing on 5 successes.
But yeah, you can kind of hear Happy around his tongue. Tastes like horse shit.
So as you do that, the Nazis that are in the other gun get out, and they begin to open fire at you folks. So I'm going to need from Nicole, Calamity, and yeah, just I was trying to remember. No, yeah, and Dr. Tobin.
Yep.
I'm gonna need. You're getting shot at, so I'm gonna need. I'm trying to figure out the best way for you folks to avoid that damage. Okay. So they have gotten in position to try to stop you from actually like proceeding to do what you're going to do. So the way that it's going to work is as you folks, like, this is one of the first times the Nazis have been in a position to actually like pose a threat to you versus run away and die. So as you folks are going to be taking actions against them, they're going to be rolling against you to try to do damage to you. So let's so you basically, in order to clear this out, you folks are going to have to like clear through the Nazis that are left. Let's go to Nicole.
All right. Nicole is ecstatic. She has always been desperate for a glorious end in battle and sees the first potential threat these Nazis pose to the group as a good opportunity for that. Nicole takes out her submachine gun and starts going shooting it kind of in a swinging motion while moving forwards.
Excellent. So that'll be shoot. We're gonna say you're using your submachine gun. We're gonna say that you're definitely getting flanking for this because one of them is being grappled.
Okay.
So that is shoot +1 or +2 because you get +1 for using the equipment and an additional +1 for close quarters.
Okay, so oh, 6, 6, 4, 3, 1, 3.
It's 5 successes. Squad. We roll one of these. Okay. So at this point, since they're shooting at you, you have to decide how you want to split up your successes. So,
okay.
So the trick is that they are firing at you. So, you like they are going to be trying to take you down. So you have to decide like how many dice you want to do damage with and how many dice successes you want to do defense with.
Okay, I want to do damage with 3 and defense with 2.
Okay. So that means you take 2 damage.
All right.
But that squad is... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I did this wrong. I misread that. I rolled threat rating, not attack rating. Oh, shit. Nope, they don't do a goddamn thing. They fire wildly, and they just are cut down by your machine gun fire.
Like stormtroopers.
The last person alive is the one that is being restrained in the machine by a tongue that is far too long. Are you just going to go and eat that one?
Yeah.
Come get y'all dinner.
All right, Nicole.
Thank you very much.
Take 2 blood for that one.
All right.
Just for free. So as you folks are looking through this area, you hear there's fighting going on at the train yard, and from like the vantage you have, you see a tank explode. It seems like you cutting down the communications and then stopping this allowed them to, the rest of the troops, to take the train yard. You folks find, and I need people to write this down, a quadrupedal weapons platform. It is a giant heavy weapons platform that walks on 4 legs. It has 4 uses with a +1 to shrug off enemy fire. And a microwave array turret. It has 1 use, +3 anti-vehicle.
How the hell did they make a walker already? Scary. Does anyone know how to drive this thing?
I am not familiar with the concept of driving. I only know flying. Flying is life.
Well, I reckon a train and a crawler aren't too different.
And it turns out it's actually quite different, but you could pretty easily figure it out.
Captain's not going to sweat it.
You drive this thing. It actually has like a little pick-me-up. It's actually not bad.
Ooh,
Got a little gas in it. So you drive it over there, and you see, like, standing on top of the train is this, like, grizzled-looking, from the stuff on his jacket, looks like a general. And is standing up top, clearly was somewhat wounded, but, like, is, like, firing into the top of a flaming tank with a handgun. And just screaming, "Get out here, you bastards!" And then pops a grenade and drops it in. The Nazis do not get out before the grenade goes off.
Oh, thank God. I was just about to ask.
And then as you folks roll in, he kind of like turns, and you see like they're dragging up from the water more drop caskets. But these look like they're shaped like bullets, like really large bullets. It's like, I don't suppose you're the cavalry then.
Best believe it.
We are.
We even got a horse now.
Call her Tallulah.
I mean, you call her Tallulah.
You know, we could probably strap that. Hey, Wilkins! And you see like one of the people, and that's when you turn and you see that this is not just a train. The train is about 1 mile long. And the train itself is also a giant cannon.
Yes!
On the top of it is the largest cannon you have seen in your entire life. And it seems like they're trying to, like, move it and zero it in on something. And it's like, could you get this thing fired out of that cannon? And this person who's, like, way in the distance goes, I can fire your fucking mom out of this cannon! I'm not sure if that was a yes, but it didn't sound like a no. I suppose you're ready for stage 2.
Did they say you're going to fire us out of this cannon?
Yes. And he steps down from it and he pulls out a map. And it's a map of the whole area. And there's a significant distance from here to the actual cauldron. It's like, we couldn't set up a foothold of operations without your help here. And we can't support you going in against Rommel, not in any real meaningful way. Like, obviously we support you, but with things like helping you kill Nazis, without getting this far. So there is a magical barrier between here and there that our small arms fire can't. But these blessed drop coffins will absolutely pierce that Nazi magic. And so we just need you to climb inside and we're going to shoot you right through it.
Oh.
Well, another day, another dollar, I guess.
I can't wait to find out what this feels like.
And on
Calamity. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, please, what were you saying?
Calamity will just go ahead and clap, just go, flying time, I love flying time.
You folks you get in your drop coffins, you get loaded into the cannon, and it's one at a time, and they basically load you in like a magazine. So like all the coffins are loaded in one at a time, and the first one gets loaded into place. Here, fire, and the sound is the loudest thing you have heard in your entire life. You are certain that your eardrums rupture immediately and then heal back immediately because you're a vampire. And the force of it, just like, because you're like standing, you're like, this is going to be okay. You are not okay. You are basically like, even with your vampiric strength, the sheer force of this thing throws you across the narrow inside of the coffin, and you feel as it hits the barrier. You see there's like a shock of blue. And then as you like slow through it, as you get about halfway, your momentum picks up again, and you go immediately through a wall. Followed by each boom, 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 as all of the other drop coffins get launched in. And then you hear a very strange sound as something that is not nearly so aerodynamic is fired out of the cannon and just tumbles through the air and through the hole that you all have made, hits the ground and skids as the quadrupedal cannon crashes into the room.
Tallulah. My girl.
As you folks kind of collect yourselves, you folks see like all sorts of different like magic, different symbols, literally all around you. So I know Dr. Tobin is of a more magical nature. Would any of the other characters consider themselves knowledgeable in the ways of magic at all?
Nicole hates magic, but is pretty knowledgeable.
Okay. So between you and the good doctor, you start like, you notice some weird things immediately. And you start noticing, Matt, all of the actual symbols that are doing any sort of magic are not any Nazi origination. And you, like, you're knowledgeable of, like, the different cultures and things like that. And so it looks like to you that they have just been stealing other cultures' magic and trying to use it in a very janky way to make a shield.
Nicole mutters under her breath, amateur shit.
What you thinking?
I think we need to take this apart and build it again. We can both ourselves do much better.
Can I really quickly, like, I know I'm not that well read, but is this like a language that we're seeing for these runes? Like, are we seeing anything?
Not language per se, but like you draw runes, you use magic, and so you can tell that like you're traveled. You're not necessarily the most like book smart. You don't read all the books, but like you're traveled and you've seen magic from different cultures. And so there's magic from ancient Mesopotamia and other magic from like Mesoamerica and all of these like cultures that are steeped in just beautiful history. Heartfelt culture, and these white folks just stole that shit to try to make it work for them.
Tobin grins for a second. I think I have an idea of how to turn this against them.
Oh, pray tell.
And with that, we're going to take our first actual break for the evening, folks. we're gonna take like a 10 to 15 minute break here. So I would like to remind all of you to please take care of yourself. Get up, stretch, relax. If you have not taken your meds, you need to take your meds. Go take your meds. If you have not hydrated, you should be doing that. You have a body; it's important to take care of it. We are going to do the same. We will see you back here in about 10, 15 minutes. See you then. And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BIPOC VampDay, cracking the cauldron. I am your storyteller, chaos inducer, renowned, and I want to bring everyone's attention. We hit goal, folks. We have raised, as an organization, as a group of individuals, over $1,000 for Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. Thank everyone so much who donated. We have 2 auto failures that I have. And we got another, we actually now are back to 3 rerolls for the team again, because we got another one. Please continue to donate to this really important cause. We really appreciate every person who's here hanging out with us. If you cannot donate money, it's understandable. A lot of people are going through difficult times right now. Donate your space on your socials. Let people know that you're here and having a good time. Let's get people in on this Nazi crushing good times, which has happened twice, which is weird. If I had $1 for every time a Nazi was crushed by a large object, I'd have $2, which is weird because it's happened twice. And I have a feeling it's not going to be the last time either, in fact. But I especially want to do a small call out to a family member of one of the players who was donated. Thank you so much. That is the type of family support we like to see in our nerd channels. And to my friend's mom, Amy, if you're out there watching, hi. just checking in. I'll hear about that later if that happened. So you folks are now in the cauldron. You basically you see that you basically have crushed through what was probably 10 inches of stone and another 6 inches of solid metal, all covered in runes. It even seems like the hole that was created is now blocked back over by that blue barrier. And you can hear panicked shouts from further inside. It sounds like they're kind of echoing down the hall from you. Like you're now standing in, it looked like there was once a staircase up and down here, but as you folks have collapsed into it, the entire ceiling has kind of collapsed over the floor. So there's no real staircase down now. But it seems like there's plenty of fun to be had right down this hallway through a large pair of double doors anyway.
I have an idea I'd like to see if we can do for the shield before we proceed inwards. Mainly, I'd like to see if we can turn the shield against folks that are inside.
Yeah.
And I might have an idea of how to do that, but it might be a little ramshackle.
That's the best way to do it.
I love Ramshackle.
I like Ramshackle.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned before the break that the essence of this magic, it's been hijacked / just straight up taken and appropriated from other cultures to be used as protect Nazis in their time of, oh shit, everyone else is falling down on Gazala while they're trying to hold on to the cauldron. I do believe I have something in my equipment that might be useful for this.
What have I done? Sure, let's talk about it.
You gave me a soul jar.
I did give you a soul jar.
We never defined what it does, but that's fine because I have an idea of what I'd like to describe it trying to do. Now,
Mother Millicent's stolen soul jar.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That is the thing that you have.
So There are two ways I could see this going, and I like to put it to the other players. That I am foreseeing this being basically a jar full of souls. Either they're ghosts or something to that degree. Either it's a bunch of souls or one big soul. I don't know, and I think we can play it either way depending on you, Wren. We could either A, unleash all those ghosts, let them feed on the shield, or feed on the magic that makes up the shield. Basically eating the shield from within. Or we can use the magic of the shield, since we're inside it, to power the thing inside the soul jar and just let it run rampage in thing like Godzilla. Or a third option that I have not thought of yet.
Both amazing options.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So bottled ghosts is a separate thing.
Damn. Then what would this be?
But
as in, what is inside the jar first is what I want to know.
You don't. It's a stolen jar. I'm not sure that you're certain you know what's in it. However, what blood abilities do you have? Remind me.
Back pocket hex. Basically just a standard fuck you -1 attack rating. Nightmare illusions in the area immediately around, and mesmer. I got it. This might need some preparation, so I'm willing to spend a turn to get the blood to make this happen. As in, go through the thing, go find a Nazi, eat them, and then come back to do it. Would that be okay? Because it's going to use multiple abilities.
Let's talk it out. What is the overall?
The idea is I'd like to use the magic endeavors in the soul jar to basically put a massive debuff on everyone we fight, so that everyone else in the party can wreck face that much easier. I have two other abilities that this can be used to, technically. Spending blood to mesmerize and conjure illusions. I figure with the soul jar, you can either superpower that or somehow leech off of the shield's magic to power that up further too, so that it has a wider range of effect. That's the idea I'm going for right now.
Okay.
The idea is not to kill anybody. The idea is to make it flash and all so that the others can go in and do the killing. If that is okay with y'all.
So...
Yes.
Fuck. Okay. So...
Are you crushing up a note?
I am not. That was not me. But it may as well have been. So here's the who would like to help?
I was going to say, if the good doctor needs blood, I have blood.
So what I would like is each person who all raise your hand if you want to help pitch in on this. Okay. I would like each of you to pick a stat that you are based. So basically, like, we are going to be basically doing what is not a thing in this game, which is big magic. You are doing a ritual. So each of you are going to be pouring your intent into the magic that is going to be held here. And so I am going to have Dr. Tobin Rose explain how you're going to start doing a ritual to basically uncorrupt the magical barrier and to draw its intention against those that put it here.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then we're going to go around. I'm going to have everyone describe like how they are channeling their intention into this as well, using their staff. And then I'm going to have each person roll in turn, starting with the good doctor.
Cool. It's might take me a bit to explain, so please bear with me here. I will be making this up off the top of my head.
Please.
And the idea is that Tobin will call the rest of the folk in. And as they're being called into the little, like, stairway / like landing that we have, Tobin's already rolled up his uniform sleeves. They're not really covered with blood, but you see it as they're rolled up. You see that there's what seems to be surging red patterns that aren't really tattoo. They look like tattoos, could be confused for tattoos, but look to be sigils of various kinds. And he's scratching fervently with a piece of chalk a big circle in the middle of the landing. As he's doing it, he is talking out loud to anyone who's listening, talking in a really hushed, or not really hushed, but a really like manic tone of all the little things he's seen while they've been here. All of the sheer outpouring of oh fuck, oh shit that we have been imparting on the Nazis as we've been doing, and recalling their faces, recalling the surprise, recalling the I can't believe they managed to do that feeling that they caught on their faces after seeing after seeing Calamity, for lack of a better descriptor at this moment, huck a flaming discus and making things explode. It just the recalling each part of events, and each time it's doing that, it's making the circle split up into 4, clearly one for each of you, and making a little divot in the center of the circle for what looks to be, not sure yet. He puts the soul jar in the center of the circle. Doesn't open it. Keeps rolling his sleeves up, so he's basically having a sleeveless shirt at this point. And realizes he didn't explain at all what he was trying to do. But takes a breath and goes, I know not all y'all are in this kind of art, and you don't need to be. But I need you to trust me on this. We got a ton of motherfuckers downstairs. We can all agree on this, right? These motherfuckers not only need to die, but need to die and be remembered as y'all are some motherfuckers that don't deserve hell, you deserve erasure. And other such imparting of y'all are beyond redemption. So what we're going to do is we're going to scare the ever-living fuck out of everyone downstairs. So as we are not going to have a major chase scene. We're hopefully not going to have to come back in, coffee tins. I need y'all to give a little bit of something that you take pride in, something that you take fear in, and something that you use to fight fear. We are putting our intentions into this circle. We're putting our blood into this circle, and if all goes well, they're going to see an eschaton downstairs. It'll all be in their mind, hopefully, if I do this right. I don't know, I've never done this. I'm making this up as I go. But I've done similar things before. And I figure, if it doesn't work, it's going to be a tale to remember. Are you all with me on this so far? Does anyone have any questions beforehand?
You know I trust you, Doc. Just put me in the right direction.
Tobin will look to Happy to see, can I put you in the right section of the circle?
Absolutely.
Cool. And with consent, Tobin will put each of them basically in a little bit of a 4-square kind of situation. And take a little bit of a silver knife out from his myriad pockets. A well-used silver knife. Thanks for a second.
Let's not do blood magic in that sort of sense.
Yeah, that's fine. What would you like to do it as?
So let's pour intent, and I will handle that.
Gotcha.
So
I can
describe
do that.
like how you're pouring your intent and your will into it, and I will describe that portion.
Cool. Then instead, I will lay the knife down and lay the soul jar down and lay 2 shells from the shotgun down. Sit cross-legged in my section of the circle. And the intent right now is we need to scare and make this a moment that they are going to remember if they are not going to die. Prey on all their fears, prey on all their terrified, and prey on all the things that they have taken from other people, their lives, their histories, and their being. A little bit wide coat, but that's my intent.
As you start to pour it in, you start to feel something resonate. And as you start to feel it, everyone else feels this kind of hum in the air. And that the blue haze that is coming from the barrier begins to get dimmer as the circle begins to glow red. And you can feel that something is drawing the life force out of you. How much blood are you putting into this ritual? It will affect its potency.
I think I have 3 to spare.
Okay. So you pick 3. Happy.
I think Happy, their intention sort of starts with their familiarity with Dr. Tobin and how it took a long time for the good doctor to gain Happy's trust. In the Wild West, it's not easy to make a friend. It's not easy to find a comrade. And because of this foundation, this faith, Happy finds themselves sort of a conduit, just a vessel, because they know the doc. They know their weird magic shit is going to work because it does every time. And hopefully it works this time. There's been a few times where Happy has literally been blown up, shot, had a comically large piano dropped on him at the hands of Doc, perhaps. But this time, it's 100% trust.
Wonderful. How much blood are you going to be putting into this?
I'll also drop 3.
All right. Calamity.
I think the intention for Calamity is ultimately fighting for family, whatever that looks like. She takes a lot of pride from the fact that she comes from a family of bats. Even though she looks a little bit more human than bats sometimes, it's a really big part of who she is. And something that she takes fear in is the night where she was driven out of her cave by the sound of mortar shells, and how, because of her family, she found the courage to kind of fight back against this terrifying flash of lights and loud booming noises. And this is something that continues to kind of empower her now, the decision to ultimately fight and defend for family, whatever that happens to look like, as she kind of takes a gaze around the circle and taking in all of the fellow vampires around her.
How much blood?
I'll say 3.
All right. And last but most certainly not least, our one who is probably the least trusting of magic, Nicole.
Yeah, extremely distrustful of magic. I've always had bad experiences with it, and yet, in my life before becoming a vampire, I learned about it. And my intention going into this is begrudging kind of compliance because I'm after revenge. I take out a pendant under my clothes, and it reminds me of the night my vampire girlfriend broke up with me, and I came home from the bar to find that my shack had been completely destroyed by Nazi gunfire. And that bitterness is so strong that I'm willing to do almost anything. And I'm going to put 2 blood into this.
So as you put that 2 blood, it seems like so like the red kind of courses through it, and then there is a little bit extra, that bitterness, and you see that there's like a ripple of like black that runs through the red of the circle, and it begins to swirl through the whole thing. So that's 12 dice. The soul jar gives +3 to anything. That is 15d6. Good, Doctor. You should probably get rolling.
I will try my stuff. Give me a second. I need to find a tray to roll this on. I have not planned for having to roll 15d6. Hold on.
Well, for the record, I also didn't plan for you to roll 15d6. So, yes. So thank you, Noodle, for the advantage to Happy.
Hell yeah. Give me a second. Okay. 3, 6, 9,
So
11.
That
12,
means that
13.
the entire party has 3 more advantages to use, and Happy has an additional.
All right. Y'all ready?
As they'll ever be.
I'm going to use an actual cup to roll this like it's Yahtzee. I might as well at least keep it all in one place. All right. Big money, no whammies.
So many fucking dice.
That's a lot of 6s.
Oh, shit.
All right, let me
So-
count this.
I would like to ask, before you start counting,
What's up?
would you like to use one of your advantages and re-roll everything that is lower than a 4?
Yes! That would be, for the record, I am re-rolling. I think I did this math right. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 15d6 currently. Without re-rolling anything right now, we are at 9, 10, 11, 12 successes. I'm now using one of those advantages to re-roll the things that were not a success. See, I get 2 crits and a normal success off of that. So we are at 11, 13, 14 successes.
Let's go.
So you feel this thrum that echoes through the entire room. And you begin to see the color run from the circle across the walls, up the walls, and into the blue. And then you see the red and black race across all of the blue. All of the symbols changing. And then you start to hear the scream coming from downstairs. And it is loud and it is violent. And then all at once, you hear silence. You don't smell blood, but you don't hear any movement. This entire place seems still as a stone.
Tobin lets the thrum die out for a second and listens to the silence. And the thrill of it's left him at this point, clearly because it seems to have worked, but there's a bit of looking very unsure at everyone else. Do y'all want... I'm not going down there first.
If it's of any help, I'm a little hungry right now, but if one of you could spare a snack or two, I can try to kind of see if I can either hear or even see heat sources through walls and other obstacles. I'll just need a small snack, of course, just a quick refueling.
So you can smell that there are humans like on this floor that you're on. Like going downstairs is impossible unless you move all the rubble. But like there are other beings on this floor that you can go and look for.
I can also spare 1 blood.
If you're willing to spare the blood, I do have an ability called Sense Heartbeat where I can see the heartbeats of living beings through walls and obstacles. So, if possible, I'd love to kind of like see through like the floor even just to kind of like see like, are there any people left alive, essentially in the basement just to kind of like, for posterity, essentially.
Yeah, so trade
Sounds
the blood.
good. Okay, Nicole gives Calamity the blood.
Thank you, and they'll just go ahead, take that blood. What would this be? I guess that's a search roll?
I think you just activate it.
Oh, okay.
Let me just double check. I mean, that sounds like it's just an activation. That is... yeah, roll a search. You know what? No, you don't have to. I'm gonna say you don't have to in this case. You hear the hearts beating downstairs. They're racing. But their heat signatures aren't moving. Not like... There's a difference between like a person who's like standing in place and not moving. Then there is stone still. Completely unable to move. Frozen entirely in place. And their hearts are pounding. And you can tell by the rate of their heartbeat, it is with sheer, unmitigated terror. And on this floor, you can sense closer to you. There are some heart rates that are in the same place, but somewhere further, deeper, you hear, you can sense that there is movement and other people moving around. But there's like a number of people on this floor that you can easily get to that are in the same state as the people downstairs.
Interesting. I think Calamy's going to relay that by kind of like tapping her finger against the floor and just kind of go, okay, so their heartbeats are kind of like this. Tap, 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 tap. I don't think they're moving. I think they're frozen solid. So I would say we may have a buffet ahead of us. I get the sense that there's a little bit of movement, but otherwise, pretty clean, easy buffet for the rest of us.
Wonderful.
All right. Let's grab us a couple of weasels.
You head to the next room, and you see that this is clearly where the Archmagus, who is the person who's working directly under Rommel. These are clearly their halls. You see magic and banners and all these things, and you see these people in like very like fine robes of magic users, but they are clearly alive. And you see that they are covered in those red runes. And just like as you folks hit the barrier, there is that time dilation from the force of it moving against you. You can see that they are clearly trying to get away, but they can't move. The magic is holding them fast in place. And they are fucking terrified.
I'll be happy to let y'all do the honors. I've done my part.
Amazing. I would like to just slowly strut up to the closest Nazi to me, take my handy, just for fun blade, and cut the edges off of their hair just to kind of store it for later, as some memorabilia.
They literally can't stop you. So you eat. So there's enough that each of you can drink 2, and they give you 3 blood apiece.
Wonderful.
Sounds good.
And as you go through, now you can definitely hear. You hear very intense chanting in a room up ahead. Like, quickly, work faster. We have to stop this. And you see that, like, the doorway is still blue and it's pushing the red and black away from the chamber.
We did get all the mages before this door, right?
Oh, yeah. They're all very dead.
Okay, just checking. Leans over to Nicole. Y'all got more dynamite?
I was afraid you would never ask. Nicole unstraps the 20 packs of dynamite all the way down her legs and just hands half of them to the doctor.
So you have, did you have more oh no, you have 6 of them. You have 6 of them. You used 2. Jesus Christ. Okay. I didn't notice the number next to the dynamite. That's a lot of dynamite.
I'm gonna pass my share to Happy, actually, if that's okay.
You've never seen Happy
For
look
sure.
so enamored and enthralled. Oh, it reminds me of the train days.
That's
Ooh.
exactly why I gave them to you.
Oh,
Amazing.
So you're gonna try to blow the doors?
although,
Absolutely.
are their doors made of metal?
They're wood.
Okay. Would you like to do the honors, or shall I?
I'll actually let you do the door because I'm like itching to throw the dynamite directly into the middle of the crowd. So you go for it.
Sounds like a plan. Happy's gonna just gently place the dynamite stick at the door. Clear?
How many dynamite sticks are you going to use
Clear.
on the door?
Just one for the door.
Okay. So to be clear, it does have the runes on it still.
May I assist?
As always,
Please.
Doc.
Oh,
I'm gonna draw explosive runes on the dynamite with chalk.
okay. So that gives. So roll either fix or shoot
Say less.
with plus 6 dice.
I don't even know I have that many dice. My fix is 4.
Well, so you roll fix, so that's 4.
Yeah.
But then the dynamite gives plus 4 for demolitions. The rune is going to give you another 3, so that's 7, and then plus 1 because you're using an item, 8. So that's 12 dice. You're rolling 12 dice.
Wonderful. I have to write things down now.
That's so many dice.
You're welcome, Wren. I've already struck 2 uses of the runes out, by the way. One for the AA gun and one for this. We're at 1 so far.
I hear you.
6, 5. 1, 1, 2, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my goodness. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Nicole, I'd like you to go ahead and roll me a shoot or a fix plus 5 for the dynamite throw.
Sounds good.
Because basically, as soon as this door opens, you want to follow up with that. So let's get that going.
13 successes, and I have Corpse Eater. So before I discard my dice after my roll for my pool, I gain 1 blood for any rolled ones, and I rolled 2 ones.
Nice. Excellent.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
The team has never heard Happy laugh. They're very stoic, and they hear giggling. Ooh. Doc, thank you. Nicole, thank you. Ooh.
Are you sounding like a lady now? Is that what's happening, Happy? You see, Tobin says incredulously.
Don't worry about it.
So, Nicole, how many successes did you roll?
I got 2 successes, a 5 and a 4.
Okay. Would you like to use your flashback now to add 2 more dice to that? You know, I
will.
Oh, thank you, folks, for that dono. Trust me, I'm gonna need those instant failures very soon.
Hey.
No.
Hey, don't get ideas.
So I'm trying to find the page for the so the way that these work is gotta find the chart. It's always a chart. I always struggle to find the charts that I need when I need them. So roll me. Actually, I'll roll a d6. So the way that this works is we're gonna go over a flashback moment that you had. Okay. That is a 3 and a 1. I need a player who is willing to be the subject of this flashback to raise your hand or say yes.
I mean, if we're blowing shit up together.
So it's not well, I mean, it could be that.
Mm-hmm.
So Nicole and Happy, you were working on a mission assassinating a Nazi general at an opera. And Nicole, you saved Happy from certain death. What nearly killed them?
At an opera. What nearly killed them were newly mopped floors that were just shiny and wet, and Happy ran a bit too fast, slipped, and was about to fall over the edge of the balcony.
These boots are for dirt.
So you folks had set up the dynamite to explode, and Happy is like running down the hall, turns, slides across the floor, fires at the dynamite, sets off a massive explosion. But the force from the explosion forces Happy to slide further back, hits the railing, and you just catch Happy at the last moment. And it is that, like, this moment of teamwork, the explosion, it brings you back to that moment. Now, roll me 2 more d6. Oh, actually, wait.
Okay.
So you're using the flashback. Would you also like to use one of the 2 remaining rerolls that we have? So you could roll all your failures and 2 more dice.
I will. Yes.
I thought so. I thought you would. I had a sneaking suspicion. that more dice is better.
Someone asked if you like to re-roll. You always, as the Ghostbusters say, said yes.
You're not gonna like this.
How many sixes is that? 4? 5 even?
I got a 4, 5, 5, 6.
So that is 1, 2, 5 successes. So the first explosion goes off, and the doors turn into shrapnel that fire into the room. And in this room, you can finally see the Archmagus is not really so much a person anymore, more than like 80% magic with some human left. Like, clearly has been doing some sort of like work on himself, and he catches the door with the force of the shield, and there's like, the room is full of other warlocks that are like trying to hold this wall back, and he goes, ha, and he throws the door aside as the dynamite comes in. Is at that moment that the explosion kills most of the warlocks inside. So yeah, that is okay. So he didn't look great after that. So Calamity, you're the only being that has not had a major action yet. Like, yeah, you like saw through stuff, but like, so like now, like the door is open, there's nothing in your way. It is a big open room with this person standing in the middle. What do you do?
I think Calamity seizes the moment. She's just gonna go ahead, bounding on all fours, and she's going to try to like tackle and try to even like feed on whatever is left of the Archmagus.
Okay. So are you going to use Ravenous for this? If you get a crit, you just immediately gain 3 blood?
Ooh, yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be a brawl from you. You're going to use your gouging claws. Now, here's the thing. I will count this as an ambush, but as you go to use your claws, you feel like there is some sort of like magic that is wearing away at it. It doubles the expenditure of items. So instead of using 1, you're going to use 2. Which I think would leave you with 1 left.
Yep.
So that's 4, 5, 6 D6.
Ooh. Let's go. Believe in the dice. All right, that's a 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 5. Yeah.
5, 6, 5, 5.
Yes.
That's 5 successes.
Yes.
Excellent. God, seriously? It's a lot of 2s and a lot of 1s. Okay. That is another 1 on that fucking die. Sick. Okay. So, you can decide how many of those you want to use. So you rolled a 6, so you gain 3 blood.
Nice.
Instantly. So you get to decide how many dice you want to use for defense, because it is going to try and attack you back.
Mm-hmm.
And how many you want to use for attack?
I would like to use, I'll say 3 for attack and 2 for defend.
Okay, so you take 1 injury.
Yep.
So as you run in, and so that's a teeth smashed. So like as you go in, you go to like, you claw and you go to bite. it gets hit by the claw and holds a hand up, and there's like this like almost a force that is coming from their hand, like the runes are wrapped around their hands, and like as you go to bite, just smashes you right in the teeth. All right. Who is next?
I guess we'll circle around? Question mark.
Well, I guess that basically was a round because everyone acted and then this happened, so that would be a round. So, there are 1, 2, 4 of you. Oh, that's Happy. So, Happy, as you're standing in the doorway, you did not notice that some of those blue runes have like wrapped up one of your legs. You are basically being kind of hindered by this magic. It seems significantly weaker than it would normally be. But in order to take an action, you are going to have to beat a challenge 2. Which means you're going to have to use 2 successes to break free of that before you can do anything else.
Cool. In the meantime, can I pinpoint where it's coming from? Is it the one?
Yeah, it seems like all of the other warlocks are focused on the mages and trying to keep the mages alive. That seems to be magic that the mages is casting. You and the mages lock eyes as you notice it's happening. So you're pretty clear that it's him.
Well, I have one more stick of dynamite.
Ooh.
You do.
And it's how much? So it was fixed for the dynamite. Can I?
So
if I try to blow them up, do I still use 2 successes?
It's 6 for the dynamite. If you are using it for demolitions, it's +4.
Okay. I'm not. So I'm using it to blow up the Nazis who are holding me down.
Now, that said, you do have the weapons platform.
I do have the weapons platform.
Oh god, we forgot about the weapons platform.
I didn't forget about it. I was just like, maybe we do other things first. But now that I'm reminded, although
it does have a +1 to shrug off enemy fire, and this kind of, I would say that this qualifies.
Okay, I will shrug off enemy fire. How many do I get for it? Just
so that would be 1 for using the item, +1 to for the bonus, and then your shoot. And I'm going to say that because it specifically has shrug off enemy fire, you only need to use 1 success because it is kind of specifically designed for this. But it will use 2 of its 4 boxes because of the aura of degradation.
Good to know. We'll cross off 2. All right. A 5, a 5, a 5, a 2, and a 3. Although I have advantage. I'm going to reroll those.
Fuck. Of course you do.
Oh, and a 6. But I'm going to use that one for Corpse Eater.
So how much damage is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Okay. So
I think it's time to show these boys the welcome wagon.
Come on, help me out here. So you know what? I'm using one of those. Instead of doing it as an auto fail, I'm going to reroll my failures. And they're almost all failures twice. God. So how many dice are you going to use to defend yourself?
I'll use 2 to defend myself.
Okay, you take 2 damage.
I'll take it.
First you have a so at the start of your turn you have to use 1 blood because you have a bleeding wound. Who would like to go next? Nicole, Doctor, Nicole.
Jonathan, Charlotte, Jonathan.
How about the doctor go before me?
Copy. You'll have to excuse me. There is a fur baby also laying on my chest as we play. So please be forewarned that I may be influenced by his orange single brain cell. That being said, there is a motherfucker in there casting magic. No. As we all know, magic is mostly resistant to other magic. It hasn't dealt with 12 gauge. We're closing the gap and seeing if we can get in and get some close combat shotgun action on him.
He is basically in melee with Calamity, so they're not getting out of it anywhere fast. So you can definitely get there and shoot him with the shotgun.
Actually, I'd like to use the SMG because that gives me flanking.
You can use the SMG too. So looking at the stats for them, the SMG would give you +1 die. The shotgun would give you +2 die to use it.
Okay.
Oh, and it would be your last use of the shotgun, so it would actually give you an extra +1.
So we'll use the shotgun then for shits and giggles.
So because it's the last use of the shotgun, that it being the last use of the shotgun gives you a D6. Using a D6 for using an item, it's point blank, so you get 2 more D6. So it is shoot +4.
Sounds good to me. Barrel stuff the motherfucker. All right, rolling 66. Stand by. You're gonna hate me again. All but 1 were successes on 66. Let me count.
How many are you going to use for defense?
Let's use 2 and then let's use 2 defense, 3 attack. How about that?
Okay.
Actually, wait. Let me count. I got 2 4s and a 5, so that's 3 successes. Then 2 crits, so that's 4 more successes. So that'd be 7 successes. So let's put up 3 defense and 4 attack just to keep it balanced.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
He swings a hand past, and it almost looks like he's trying to deflect some of the pellets. But you pump fake. So you aim up and go to shoot, and he does that, and you just waited for a second. And then you shoot him in the face.
I baited out the attack.
And he dies. Like, you blow his head clean off of his shoulders. Like, he's using all of the force of all of his magic to try to hold Calamity back, and just goes and just eats the shotgun to the center of his face. As he dies, you see that the magic cuts out, and then all of the other maguses in the room all collapse immediately. It seems like he was using their life force to channel the magic to defend himself. And now that he is very much dead, there is nothing left. Calamity, as you're looking down at the end of the hall, you see what seems like it's a dais. And on it is like a podium where like a person would give speeches. And behind it is a room. And in that room is one person.
I think if Calamity could,
It's time.
I think Calamity would absolutely rip the dice off its foundation and just chuck it at the person.
So the person, well, okay, roll me a bunch of dice. Okay.
That's my freaky little friend.
So I assume you're going to use one blood to throw the big thing.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to use improvised projectile. So it is a +1 for using a skill, +1 for aerodynamic, brawl for throwing the goddamn thing.
Okay. So that's a 3, a 6, a 3, a 6, and a 5. So that's 5 successes. Woohoo.
Okay. You fire. You basically, as you go to rip off like the podium. The podium is actually built into the floor. So you pull a chunk of marble and the podium clean out, and you fire it through the door. The door swings open, and you hear somebody scream and barely duck out of the way. And from where you're standing, you can see that this is someone's office. And you hear someone crying inside in pure terror. As the rest of you kind of collect and go to the door, you can very quickly tell whose room this is. The walls are adorned with, awards and all sorts of things. You see a bookshelf full of copies of his own book as General Rommel, curled up in a corner, crying and screaming and fucking begging for mercy. As you close on him, he tastes like terror and amphetamines and a hint of schnapps. He dies much as they live. An awful, terrible fucking coward. And as you take your time, and I'm sure you take your fucking time, you can hear people shouting, "All right, put your hands up." No, put your hand. I don't think they can move. Put your hands up. Are they stuck that way? Just shoot them anyway. As the soldiers that were backing you up begin to flood through this place. And there's actually there's a stairway that goes up, and so as you head up to the top to see what's going on, what you could see before, even from here, from almost any distance, you could see a gigantic sphere that enclosed Paris. It was magnificent. It was one of the. It is so impossibly large that you could see it probably from space. Except right now, you couldn't see it from anywhere. Because the shield's down. And that means you know what the next mission is. To kill Adolf Hitler. And drink all of his blood. And that's game!
Let's get that son of a bitch.
Thank you all so much for being here and for joining us. I appreciate it. So we have raised quite a bit of money here. Our fundraiser is up to 670. The overall fundraiser for the cause, which we are helping with and another organization is helping with, is at $1,087. $255. So, and we're not done. We're not even done. I'm pretty sure there's more events running tomorrow. Am I wrong?
It sounds like you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just beginning. And as with all things, whether you're murdering Nazis or trying to raise money for an amazing cause, every ally is important. So please tell everybody about BIPOC Vampire Day. Please take the information about this fundraiser and get it out to anyone that you know so that they know what we're here doing. We're going to go through and we're going to do an introduction for all these fine folks so you can see where you can see their content and catch up on what they're doing. But there's one thing I think is very important that we should say beforehand is that this is a BIPOC event that is running events for 3 days. We hear a lot of excuses in the TTRPG space and the podcast space where it's like, well, we just can't find anybody. We are out here. We're producing amazing content. And each of these amazing creators that are joining me here, who did an amazing job today, by the way, are here. And if you are overlooking the people that are just around there, we're easy to find on the internet. That sounds like it's a whole lot of you not doing the work problem to me. That's just one person's opinion. So let's get back to it. Let's talk about these amazing players here. Let's start with who do I want to start with? Arslan, why don't you go first? Again, tell everyone a little bit about you, where they can find you, what sort of projects you're working on, if you're working on any. Get it out there.
I guess I can go first then. Again, thank you very much for having me. I'm Arslan. I am known across the net as Law of Tsunami or Tsunami Matsuka. I usually am in the background of things. I can be found basically anywhere you can find the term Law of Tsunami. That's law like a lawyer, of tsunami like the actual wave. And I would be streaming normally, but I am on medical leave due to medical issues, TM. So until that gets resolved, I am trying to take it easy. But, however, I will usually show up on one of my partner streams, my partner Show Pawn. She does a lot of VTube rigging and is probably one of the most hardworking people I know. And any support that you can throw her will go plenty towards supporting me and everyone else that I care about. If you would like to support me directly, I have a link tree. And if you'll see me around, I will likely be streaming eventually when I get my health correct. And probably going to be streaming some form of Minecraft or something that I can hyper focus on. And maybe run TTRPGs of my own. I do not know. I am currently working on one that is Chainsaw Man horror. We might need to come back for that. I will think on it.
Call me.
I may. Yes, you might need to remind me after game, but I would love to talk to people about it.
I'd play that. Thank you so much.
Same.
I really appreciate it. Let's go with Kawiria, why don't you go next?
Okay. My name is Kawiria. I'm known as Opalescent on YouTube, where I make anime reviewing content. I'm often quite angry about the shows that I watch, but I promise I do enjoy anime. I'm also a voice actor. And what else? I mean, honestly, I have a link tree. It's KJ Creed. So KJCREED. And I do stuff. I goof around. Yeah, I had a lot of fun on the stream. Thank you for having me.
May I ask any recent anime that you have talked about?
Oh my god. I have one coming up where I talk about a movie called Josie, the Tiger and the Fish, which is a romance with disability rep that I actually have a lot of criticisms about.
Ooh, okay.
Well, thank you so much. I'm trying to get everyone's link trees in the chat, so if you want to go and follow these folks, You can easily find them in their amazing content. Next, Sid, why don't you go?
Oh gosh, hi, that's me. I'm Sid, also known as Matcha Iato. That's Matcha Iato. I don't know why I made it so complicated, but I'm also on Blue Sky. You can also find me doing graphics over at Roll for Good, which is a nerdy EU-based collective of people running streams for charities such similar to this one. I'm also seen on Girls Runs These Worlds on Thursdays, where I play a magical girl in Fantasy Vancouver. It's super fun, and would love to see y'all there. And I'll just say thanks, vampire puns, for watching.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And last but most certainly not least, Nyxx.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who donated. Hi, Mom, I love you. You can find me at Nyxx the Werewolf on Linktree. That's NYX, like the goddess. I am starting my little foray into TTRPG on YouTube, on Twitch. If you need help creating characters, I'll be there. Find me on the Linktree. Everything's there. Harass me for any D&D or Pathfinder, any sort of TTRPG space. I combine education and TTRPGs. So whatever you need, I'll cater to you.
Wonderful. Sid, for the people who, like me, can't spell, could you spell your Linktree so I could post it in chat, please?
Yes. All right. Spelling bee mode activate. All right. So it's MATCHAIATTO.
See, I had the matcha part. The second half I totally botched.
The joke was it was supposed to be a matcha macchiato, so it's matcha iato, but I realized it's really hard to kind of like sound out loud. So, yeah.
But okay, so I for some reason I cannot find that on Linktree because I'm terrible.
I think it's because I'm on Blue Sky. I don't have a Linktree.
That's
Yeah,
why.
I can link my own Blue Sky. I got this. I got you.
Okay. I'm just trying to help, just do my best. All right, and I suppose that leaves me. Hello, everyone. My name is Renown. My pronouns are Tristan. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's me, your friend Wren, aka Renowned. I'm a TTRPG and LARP game designer, player, runner, etc., etc., etc. I am so excited to have been your storyteller for tonight. You can find me as Renowned on Linktree. Not only can you find me and like all of my social medias, I'm on Blue Sky now, Twitter for some fucking reason, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. I have my Discord on there. But also, if you want to see my actual plays, a vast majority of them are right there. So you can hop in and see some of the stuff I've been working with. And I actually just started my first actual play campaign last week called Art of Resistance. It is a monster of the week gas lamp adventure taking place in Magnolia, the City of Wonders. It will involve eldritch stuff, standing up against nobles and the cops, and fighting to help make your own place in a world that isn't quite made for you. And I don't know, as a queer person, that makes me feel very seen. We have an amazing cast. So if that sounds good, you can catch up on the first episode and catch us next week for some more. I cannot describe how much being a part of a BIPOC event means to me. As a white passing Hispanic person, it has been very hard to feel seen, and being here with all of you makes me feel kind of at home. And without each and every person at home watching us right now, that wouldn't be possible. So thank you all for helping make this dream come true for each of us and help raise money for an amazing fucking cause. Thank you, folks. Have a good night, sleep well, and have a great weekend. We will catch you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.